real careful when it comes to that. So when we sit back, we look at the Genesis 1 and 5, separating the day from night. Then we sit back and we see the Lord talking about that in John 11, about, 12 hours in a day. Then we see Paul say, I'm separated by the gospel. I'm separated from light and day. I'm separated from that. Now we look at Job 33, we see what he say here in verse 1. It go back, he say, I was without form and I was void and with darkness. Then the spirit moved and then there was life, as we read in John 1. He said, wherefore, Job, I pray thee, hear my speeches, hearken to all my words. Behold, now I have opened my mouth, my tongue hath spoken in my mouth. My words shall be of the uprightness of my heart, and my lips shall utter knowledge clearly. The Spirit of God hath made me, and the breath of the Almighty hath given me life. If thou can answer me, set thy words in order before me, stand up. Behold, I'm according to thy wish in God's deed. I also am formed out of the clay. Now listen to the two things he just told. He said, I'll utter knowledge before you clearly. Then he said, I made out of the clay. Let's look at John chapter 16, see if he uttered knowledge before these men clearly. John chapter 16, verse 23. John chapter 16, verse 23. For those that stayed on there when it dropped, we certainly appreciate you. Got caught off guard there. But it worked out either way. It's all right, Lizzie. And in that day you shall ask me nothing. Truly, truly, I say unto you, whatsoever you shall ask the Father in my name, he will give it to you. Hitherto have you asked nothing in my name. Ask and you shall receive, that your joy may be full. These things have I spoken unto you in Proverbs, but the time come when I shall no more speak unto you in Proverbs, but I shall show you plainly the Father. And at that day you shall ask in my name, and I say not unto you that I will pray the Father for you. For the Father himself loved you, because you have loved me and have believed that I came out from God. I came forth from the Father and came into the world again. I leave the world and go to the Father. His disciples said unto him, Lo, now speak thou plainly and speak no proverb. Now we are sure that thou know all things, and need not that any man should ask thee. By this we believe that thou came forth of God. Because he sat back and told these men, utter knowledge to him clearly. When did he sit back and utter knowledge to these men clearly? What day did he do that? Huh? What day did this man utter knowledge to these men clearly? He sat back and just told them something that they were clearly. But when did he sit back and utter knowledge to these men clearly? Nobody knows. Help me out, Dwight, please. When he sat down and he showed himself to him out the book. Because didn't he just say in Job, didn't he just say here in Job, he say, look, he say, utter knowledge to me clearly. He said, make it plain for me. Yeah, Luke 24, right? Now let's look over here to, what it was I just had in my mind. He said he was formed out the clay. Let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 15. First Corinthians chapter 15, because he said he was formed out of the clay. Let me see if that's what I want, or is it Romans chapter 5? Romans chapter 5. Romans chapter 5. Romans chapter 5, about verse 15. Romans chapter 5 is what I had this in my mind earlier today. Romans chapter 5, about verse 15. Romans chapter 5, about verse 15. Then we'll come back to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 12. Maybe Job chapter 12. And I think that'll pretty much solidify this here about what he was trying to tell you in the beginning, ain't it? Why you see, then we'll look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Because the reason why we have to do all this stuff, because somebody told me you didn't leave no law and prophets for no epistle letter. I can't remember that nigga name. Somebody told me that though. Yeah, somebody told me that, bro. Yeah, that nigga told me that. He told me that about a couple weeks ago. I can't remember his name though. It must not be important. Romans chapter 5, verse 15. He said, but not as the offense, so also is the free gift. For if through the offense of one many be dead, much more the grace of God and the gift by grace, which is by one man, Yahshua the Messiah, have abound unto many. And not as it was by one that sinned, so is the gift. For the judgment was by one to condemnation, but the free gift is of many offenses unto justification. For if by one man's offense death reigned by one, much more by which receive the abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one, Yahshua the Messiah. Because we know from that one man's disobedient, death was brought in the world. Because he said by man came death, so by man come resurrection of the dead. See, because when he went there, if you something, he said I came out of earth, I was made out of clay. That means you didn't have a form, right? I had to make you. That's why he said he was declared to be the Son of God with power by the Spirit of Kodesh and by the resurrection of the dead. And when we, again, going back to that Genesis, you see, and he said the earth was without form and void, without darkness, didn't have no shape. Then he took the Spirit and formed it, gave it life. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 12. Your baby's going hard over there, huh? Them your babies, though. What you gonna do with them? So, because you know, you always hear Israelite dudes be talking about, see, you sleep, brother. You sleep. See, you need to be woken up. See, when I tell you Israel, see, you out your sleep. Let's see who we tell you will wake you up out your sleep. Because that man told you if you walk in the night, you stumble. You don't know where you going. You walking in sin, that means you walking in death. I guarantee you right now, you go walk back in that pitch black room, you ain't going to see nowhere you going unless you're familiar with the room. And even then, you still might stub your toe. Verse 10, 11 actually. Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light, for whatsoever doth make manifest is light. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleep, and do what? Arise from the dead. And the Messiah shall give thee life. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. Now you just heard what he told you. He said, now the same thing we see in the beginning. He said, if you'll wake up out your sleep, he'll give you light. Then he made a separation. Because 2 Corinthians chapter 6, he told you. What agreement does light have with darkness? So when we sit back and we see Paul equate light and darkness with Yah and with Satan, with life and with death, we go back and we look in the law, we look in Genesis, and see this bigger than telling you when the day started. You know what I'm talking about? That's the whole purpose of why days start in the evening time, because it's showing you that I brought death first and life came from death. See, they ain't even got enough sense to realize we got life through the man's death. Y'all do know that, right? Because that's what he just said in Romans chapter 5, right? Because of this man's death, we able to get life. They too stupid to realize that of course the day would start when it get dark. There was no life. You were void. You were without form. So I had to give you form and life. Oh my, yeah. So I had to give you life through death. But these niggas too stupid to realize. Y'all know something? Why y'all think the Messiah say when he come back here, he gonna make the sun go black, make the stars and constellations fall? Why y'all think he would tell you that?
Because he's gonna rain death inside of people.
No. Any of y'all got an idea why he would tell y'all that? That was a good try, but that ain't the right answer. Hey man, it's all right. Iron sharpen iron. Zechariah chapter 14. Zechariah chapter 14. About verse 6. Matter, make it 5. Make it 4. Make it verse 4. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof towards the east and towards the west. And there shall be a very great valley. Half the mountain shall remove toward the north, half of it toward the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal. Yea, ye shall flee like as you did before the earthquake in the day of Uzziah, king of Judah. And Yah my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to Yah, which if y'all never knew from Matthew 24 and 36, what did he say? He said, nobody knows. Not me, nor my fathers, nor the angels, but my Father in heaven. All he did was tell him what this book said. Because then it just say right here, nobody knows. It's a day that'll be known to Yah. Because then it say in Malachi chapter 2, the priest's lips keep knowledge. They should seek the law in his mouth. That's how you know he was that priest in Malachi chapter 2. He was telling them what the book said, but Hebrew Israelites wouldn't know that. They just think Yahshua just said that because it was cool. He say, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. So what did he just tell you then? Gentlemen, what did he just tell you? If at evening time it shall be light. And we just see it evening in the morning where the first day he separated light from darkness. What he just told you? That means when the sun come back here, he going to recreate the beginning. He going to bring life from death. I got to make it go pitch black again, because don't you think when this man come back here, this whole sky going to light up? I'm going to make it go pitch black and then say, let there be light. Then he just tell you that, John chapter 3, verse 18. Then he tell you light make manifest. He just told you light make manifest. Oh boy, that listen with that one? I'm finna say, that's a grown woman birth from that little baby. John chapter 3, verse 18. He that believe on him is not condemned. You see this here? That's very powerful. If you heard of the man and you believe on him, then you won't be condemned. It's a lot of Israelites that are condemned. But he that believe not is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. And this is the condemnation, that light has come into the world. And men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone that do evil hate the light, neither come to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that do truth come to the light, that his deeds may be manifest, that they are wrought in God. That's why he said, awake thou that sleepest in the Messiah, give thee light. Don't you think if you walking in light, you're going to be scared when light comes? 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Only people who walk in darkness scared of a little bit of light. Then we can go look at Job chapter 31. I might not even go around there to Job chapter 12. We got to roll it on out, man. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. See, we were trying to explain this to the young woman, but she wanted to talk too much that we wasn't able to get nothing out to her, because all she wanted to do was talk and worry about the earrings she wanted to wear. Worry about sipping her glass of wine before bed. She felt like as long as I ain't walking around, he said, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. She felt like as long as I'm in my house and I ain't walking around drunk, falling over, the Lord won't be upset with that. But we know we got enough sense to know better than that. Of the times and of the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you, for you yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so come as a thief in the night. For when you shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of the light, and children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and of love, for a helmet, the hope of salvation. For God has not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yeshua the Messiah. That's what we got to sit back and look at. Are you children of the day, or are you the children of the night? Because remember, he said, I separated light, day from night. I made a division. He said, what agreement has the Messiah with Belial? What agreement does unrighteousness have with righteousness? What agreement does light have with darkness? What agreement does the temple of Yah have with idols? He said, wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate. I had to separate that. I had to separate death from life, the Kodesh from the unkodesh, the sons of God from the sons of the devil. 1 John 3 and 8. It ain't that hard to realize when the day start, when you just sit back, put this stuff together. But the Israelites will go for hours and days and weeks and months. I seen niggas literally arguing about this very topic for literally about 9 months straight. Every day. And it's something that started in like 2012. Late 2012, maybe early 2013, dudes arguing about when the day starts.
No.
See, the day gotta start in the daytime. Yeah, that man put evening first because it was dark first, there was no light first, and then I made life.
No.
It's just common sense. He that commits sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever is born of God do not commit sin, for his seed remain in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of God. In this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever do not righteousness is not of God, neither he that love not his brother. And then you see how this man went ahead and described it. He mentioned the children of darkness before he mentioned the children of the light. He mentioned the children who are of death before he mentioned the children who are light. That man say those who are born of God, that same spirit that moved upon the waters, that brought forth that light. He said they don't do this stuff over here that these people over here do. He said that way you can make the difference. That's why he sat back and told, don't be children of the dark, because they sleep and they get drunk. You know what I'm talking about? He said you're sleeping, that means you ain't paying attention to God. Because he told you numerous times to watch. He sat back and said, if you awake thou that sleep, that means if you sleep, that means you dead. So a lot of Israelites walking around here thinking they're alive and awake, but they dead. Revelation chapter 3, verse 1. Then we come over here and look at 1 Kings chapter 13. If we can fit Job 31 in, we'll fit it in. If not, Lord, we'll fit it in another place. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long. It's a lot of things, man. Sit back, man. I hear stuff people say out their mouth, you'll be amazed.
Yeah, stop.
Just put it down. You'll be able to read soon enough. Probably in about another 4 weeks. Maybe 6. And unto the angel of the assembly in Sardis write, these things saith he that hath the 7 spirits of God and the 7 stars. I know thy works, that thou hast a name, that thou live and art dead. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. That's why I say it's better for you to be at a light, because when you're at a light, you can see it coming. Then the Lord say, if you would have been watching, he said the thief would have broken your house and took all your goods. He said, but if you're sleeping, you're not going to see me when I'm coming, and when I come, I'm going to catch you when unaware, and there's going to be a weeping and gnashing of teeth. I'm going to cut you to pieces. Well, matter of fact, Luke chapter 12. Luke chapter 12, verse 43. Make it 45. Luke chapter 12, verse 45. Leah. Can I have it, please? I guess not. But if the servant say in his heart, my Lord, delay is coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and the maidens, and to eat and drink and to be drunken, the Lord of that servant will come in the day when he look not for him, and at an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him asunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. Revelation chapter 21, verse 8, so you can see the portion of the unbelievers. Mess around and didn't he say if you don't believe on the Son of God, you condemned already? Don't you know if you know this man's word and you choose not to do it, you are unbeliever? 2 Kings chapter 17 tell you that. Probably about verse 13, maybe 14. So they hard their necks like their fathers who but did not believe in y'all. See, a lot of people think, man, I can sip me a little liquor. I can smoke me a little doobie. You know what I'm talking about? I can go get to be an old evil rotten nigga. I got time. And the Lord gonna show you how much time you got. Because he said, you know what, you're right, you do got time. It's time for me to punch your clock, your shift over. And he'll catch you at an hour when you wasn't ready. He say, I'm gonna cut you up with your portion with the unbelievers. He say, but the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burn with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. That's what we seeking to avoid. That's what we desire to get away from, is that second death. But 1 Kings chapter 13. Maybe we'll fit the thing in with the drinking. Maybe we won't. 1 Kings chapter 13, verse 1. Leah. Okay, well thank the Lord. He must have known something, because I sure was talking with that young woman about that drinking, and she. Okay, say, I got it, but guess what though? When he finna show about that drinking, we finna put that to real fast. So look here. Yes, sir. We're going to put that to quick real fast. Because a lot of people excuse is, the Lord drunk wine, he sure did. But we're going to sit back and show you something. That don't mean you sit your nasty behind down and do it. You know what I'm talking about? Because some of you niggas ain't going to do nothing. We know we ain't supposed to suck on Passover. You tell some of these niggas they can drink, they going to be like this here, boy, I'm going to get a bottle of yak tonight. And nigga ain't gonna get no miniature neither. Them nigga gonna get him a fear. Next thing you know, just sit back and look at it. Cause you know when you were in the world, most niggas kept bottles of liquor on their refrigerator top on their counter somewhere, so niggas could see how big of a drunk that they were. Now how you gonna sit back and say you in the word and nigga walk in your house and say, yeah bro, I serve y'all. Nigga walk in here, I see tequila bottles. I see Hennessy bottles. I see Remy bottles. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas sit like, you serve God. Niggas sit, and then if you a woman, niggas sit like, oh, she got the drunk vagina. I know somebody get some of that. No, full well. I'm talking about, come on man, everybody with common sense know every young man since the time he realized what alcohol and marijuana can do has pushed alcohol or marijuana on a woman with the hope that she'll get drunk so he can take advantage of her. You know what I'm talking about? And we'll be dumb enough to fall for it too. Now these niggas got even iller with it. I remember my homeboy said he used to drop like 4 or 5 ecstasy pills in a liquor bottle. He said that's what he drunk hold. Shake it on up. Get to him. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up. You nigga dropping Rufus in your drink. I had a homeboy, he was dumb enough to set his drink down in the club and go back and get it. He said he woke up the next morning with rug burn butt naked. I said that's what you get for being a dummy. 1 Kings chapter 13 verse 1. And behold, there came a man of God out of Judah. I'm going to tell y'all something just for y'all own personal knowing. Anytime, when y'all sit back and y'all see notice about men who are referenced coming out of somewhere, what tribe did you notice that they always mention? Jim? Judah. Why do y'all think they always mention a man coming from the tribe? You ever see him say he came from the tribe of Naphtali? He came from the tribe of Asher. You don't see them mention them other tribes, do you? Not regularly. But you always notice a man coming from Judah, don't you? You know why that's important? Hebrews chapter 7 verse 14. Make it 12. And the reason why I'm mentioning this here so y'all can begin to start get some understanding. That you begin to seek things and see things. And just don't be reading stuff looking stupid. No, you alright over there? You having a stroke, son? Don't scare me like that.
I said stop.
But you got a headache.
There you go.
Oh, that sucks. He said, for the priesthood being changed, there's made of a necessity. Hold on, this is taking off. She probably wants some food. That's a hungry baby. He said, for the priesthood being changed, there made a necessity a change also of the law. For he of whom these things are spoken pertain to another tribe, which no man gave attendance gave attendance at the altar. For it is evident our Lord sprang out of Judah, which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning the priesthood. So let's go back to 1 Kings chapter 13. So when we notice that men are referenced for being from the tribe of Judah, you have to start training your mind to see, is there anything in this story that pertains to the Messiah? Because they specifically let me know this man came from Judah. He said, behold, there came a man of God out of Judah by the word of Yah unto Bethel, and Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. Any of y'all know what the word Bethel means? Who knows what Bethel is? You remember what? Any of y'all remember what Bethel is? Who on this phone know what Bethel is? Genesis chapter 28. Let's refresh and bring something back to you remember. Because I know some 28 about verse 18. I know some of y'all know, and some of y'all just might not remember. Matter of fact, make it 16. Be careful, Stankus. Pick the baby up off that thing. She can't. There she got off. You'll move that out of her way though. She'll stumble over it again. Just put it on top of her chair. That's her food. He says in Genesis chapter 28 verse 16, and Jacob awake out of his sleep, And he said, surely y'all's in this place and I knew it not. Now he had just got a vision. So if he woke up out of sleep, what did that make Jacob?
Prophet.
So that's how I don't see how these dudes missed that Genesis 49. Jacob is prophesying a future event, not just about his sons, but about the son. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? Meaning awesome. This is none other but the house of God. And this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for pillow and set it up for a pillar and poured oil upon the top of it. So what did he just do? Huh? He anointed it. So what that mean he just did? So who is this is he pointing to? Because what anointed means, gentlemen? What word means anointed one? The Messiah. So when he saw this rock, there's oil on this rock, this is pointing to the Messiah. See about a story about a man putting some oil on a rock. And he called the name of that place Bethel. But the name of that city was called Luz at the first. So that's why we sit back and we see Bethel, meaning he came out of the house of God. Go back to 1 Kings chapter 13. That's all we came there for. That go right back to what we were dealing with last week in 1 Samuel 25 about him being the sure house, eh? Verse 1 yet again. And behold, there came a man of God out of Judah by the word of Yah to Bethel. Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. He cried against the altar in the word of Yah and said, O altar, altar, thus saith Yah, behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David, Josiah by name. Upon thee shall he offer the priests of the high places that burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall be burnt upon thee. And he gave a sign the same day, saying, this is the sign which Yah has spoken. Behold, the altar shall be rent, and the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. So now we hear two things here. Gentlemen, when he sat back and say Josiah means Yah burns, Yah heals, and Yah saves. So in this instance, when we see those three meanings of Josiah's name, and he's saying they're going to offer the priests of the high places on this altar, which one will we use there? Will we use Yah fire, Yah burns, Yah heals, and Yah saves? Which one would we use? We wouldn't use Yah saves here because he said he will take the high priests who worship other gods and burn them on the altar. So that means we're going to have to go with Yah fire, right? Let's look at Revelation chapter 19. Let's see if he do something like that. Revelation 19 about 18. That ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, the flesh of horses, and of them who sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and the armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, which he had deceived them that received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. Makes sense here, taking gather up all these priests who joined to the devil, who've been around here worshiping idols, and offer them up as a sacrifice by burning them alive. What? See, look at Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. After that, we can look at 2 Peter chapter 3. Behold, Yah will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with his fury, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yah plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yah shall be many. So he's going to burn these people up. 2 Peter chapter 3. Why would you think he would spare false prophets? When we go back and look at Elijah knocking off all the prophets of Baal. Soon as they were shown to be false, what Elijah did? He said, go get the sword and kill him. Makes sense to realize that Yahshua is like a two-edged sword, ain't it?
That's so different.
So I don't know. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 11. Make it 10.
Stop it. I shall not deny.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in all Kodesh behavior and godliness? That's what we have to sit back and look at. Knowing that all those evil works and worshiping the idol God, that man say he'll remove all the false gods out of the earth.
Hey, relax, you're going to get it.
I knew that word. What that baby gonna play about that girl, boy? That baby does not play about that girl. I'm talking about Lizzie don't play about that girl, boy.
Stop.
That nigga here, that nigga that hard. This nigga gonna torment the baby. But y'all see that though? You think this man gonna spare these people and not burn them to ashes for around here worshiping them? Come on, man. These people around here got gods for everything. One part is, you know what number one God our people love to worship, don't even realize they worship it. What did the Lord to say when somebody do something bad to them and they hope something come back to them? What the first thing nigga like to say out their mouth? Karma, something serious, ain't it? You don't even sit back and realize you calling on Krishna. Because I know that come from the Hindus. We know our law say you reap what you sow. We know y'all pay you back for what you do. You reap what you sow. Why well, sit around here talking about karma gonna get you? Man, Christian, man, I don't know nothing about no elephant God. I don't know nothing about all that. Then they version of Satan is Shiva, a nigga with 7 arms. And guess what Shiva like? Shiva like little boys. My homeboy was telling me he was talking to this Satanist, and the Satanist knew that for all intents and purposes. He knew, but he didn't know that Yeshua was Lucifer. So he told him, he said, man, so he said, if you a Satanist, he said, that mean you down with everything Satan down with. He said, what you mean? He said, that mean you like to have sex with dogs and cats and boys and all that type of stuff. He said, no, I don't do stuff like that. I don't agree with stuff like that, but you worship the devil though. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, sit back and look at it. And you say you worship y'all. What you talking about? Some karma. I see the nigga say he worship y'all. He talking about this here. The astrological traits that are in the signs. He say those things are real. He said, I don't deal with the zodiac and I don't deal with astrology. But the traits in an Aries person, that's real. Nigga, then you deal with it then. If a nigga think what astrological sign you born in dictates your character, your personality, and your traits, you are a bona fide idiot. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about all the way live. I'm talking about, check it off. Idiot, dummy, dunce. You know what I'm talking about? Any adjective you can describe. But this nigga call himself a teacher of the word and say he believe in that. And nobody can convince him otherwise. When that man say you an observer of times, you're an abomination before y'all. Back to 1 Kings chapter 13.
Yeah.
That baby is not playing right now. So when we look at this verse 3, when he said he gave a sign that the altar shall be rent, what y'all think that sign was pointing to? He gave a sign the altar would be rent. What is that sign? When the veil in the temple rent. Because remember, that's where the let's sit back and look at it. Let's verify it. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10. Let's verify it. Yeah, we'll look at Matthew 27. Let's look at Hebrews chapter 10 and verify it first. Let's verify that the altar was behind the veil first. Hebrews chapter 10. Was it Hebrews 9? Let's see which one we want. Hebrews chapter 9, verse 1. He said, then truly the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service in a worldly sanctuary, for there was a tabernacle made, the first wherein was the candlestick and the table and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary. And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the Kodesh of all, who had the golden censer and the ark of covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had the manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the tables of the covenant. And over it the cherubims of glory shadowing the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly. So now we sit back and we look at it. That was Hebrews chapter 9 verses 1 ran down to verse 5 starting at 1. Then we look on Day of Atonement that when they went into that inner sanctum that the altar was there and they sprinkled blood upon it. No? Then we read that. So now let's look at Matthew 27. So now when we see this thing being rent, we can sit back and see that the altar was there and it was rent just like the man said it would be. Because we got to have somewhere to validate the veil in the temple tearing apart. Matthew chapter 27 verse 50. It says, and YESHUA, when he cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost, and behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent. Let's go back to 1 Kings 13. So now this man said, this man gave a sign that this thing would tear apart. That's what it said, isn't it? It said that the altar shall be rent, the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. You don't think when that altar rent in Matthew 27, the ashes didn't get poured out on it? Look at verse 5 though, or verse 4, pardon me. It came to pass when King Jeroboam heard the saying of the man of God, which he cried against the altar in Bethel, that he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, lay hold on him. And his hand which he had put forth against him dried up, so he could not pull it again to him. The altar also was rent, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of God had given by the word of Yah. And the king answered and said unto the man of God, entreat now the face of Yah thy God, and pray for me, that my hand may be restored me again. And the man of God besought Yah, and the king's hand was restored him again, and became as it was before. Where did the Lord fulfill this at, everybody? Anybody know? Let's look at Mark chapter 3. That is correct. Mark chapter 3 verse 1. He said, he entered into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand. And they watched him whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. And he said unto the man which had the withered hand, stand forth. And he saith unto them, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days, or to do evil, to save a life, or to kill? But they held their peace. And when he had looked round about on them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, he saith unto the man, stretch forth thy hand. And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored whole as the other. He said, the Pharisees went forth and straightway took counsel with the Herodians against him, how they might destroy him. I'm going to ask y'all a question. Y'all remember what tribe that is in Genesis 49 when they grieved him at his heart, when they were shooting arrows at him? Y'all remember what tribe that would be? That goes to Joseph in Genesis chapter 49, about verse 22, about verse 23. It said the archers were grieved him. You know what I'm talking about? These people were grieving him because he wanted to sit back and heal someone and do good. And you have to sit back and look at, people are going to grieve you when you seek to do the things that are good before God. They'll try to mock you or ridicule you and say, look at you, you're sinning, you're doing this here. And they all have to sit back and look at, that's the hardness of their hearts. There's nothing you can do about that. Remember when I told Josiah that day, I say, man, I have a righteous anger. He said, there's no thing as righteous anger. Remember when we showed him the very same thing? Shut his mouth immediately. You can have a righteous indignation. That doesn't mean that you're going to get up, you know what I'm talking about, and punch somebody in the mouth like Nehemiah did, or pluck off niggas' beards or nothing like he did. You know what I'm talking about? But it'll come time, y'all ain't never seen stuff and it just make you angry like these niggas are sick. I mean, man, when I heard that, I didn't respond in that fashion. But when I heard that hallelujah, man, I was appalled. I couldn't even believe that. I'm like, are you serious? Like, are you serious right now? Like, this is amazing. Or the fact, just the stuff they just be talking about, period, man. I be mad just because these niggas think because a rapper say you the children of Israel, now we all of a sudden, the truth out there, he waking his people up about a nigga who like to get drunk and smoke weed. Who? Yeah, I got an Egyptian nigga hanging from his neck. Got an Egyptian nigga hanging from his neck. I don't care nothing about no J Electronica. If he was serving God, he wouldn't even been on that stage. But for a lot of niggas, that's all it takes is for somebody to drop Key Caffrey. When them niggas heard King Chingy come out with a song, King Judah, these niggas lost their mind. He waking up, oh, we gotta pray for him. I ain't praying for that sweet booty nigga. Niggas say that nigga like transvestites. You always got to watch a nigga sit around here and want a dude dressed like a lady. For real, man. Like, this nigga ain't even like really try to go again. Niggas all amped up because Chris Brown tweeted, man, I think this Ebola population control, but let me shut my black behind up. He trying to wake up. Nigga, please. Y'all know Ebola been around since before some of y'all was even born. Where they had an epidemic in Africa. Now all of a sudden, an African come over here and get it. Now 2 nurses got it, if they even had it. Now they gonna have you scared and worried. Because they couldn't get you with no swine flu. Couldn't scare you with no SARS. So let's see if we can scare you with some Ebola. Let's scare you with ISIS. Nigga ain't got enough sense to sit back and look at ISIS. That's the queen of heaven. That's an Egyptian god. Very same god these niggas wear when they got Nikes on and go to Starbucks. You know what I'm talking about? And they trying to scare you with some. I ain't scared of no Arab niggas in no field cutting nobody's head off. I don't even know if he cut that white man head off. How I know that was real? Because you took down 2 buildings, told me 2 planes hit it, and we know that that is impossible. Jet fuel don't even get hot enough to burn steel. Don't even get hot enough to burn steel. And it hit at the top of the building, man. How the building come down from the in a pancake manner from that top part where it hit that should have fell off. You insulted my intelligence with that. You think I'm gonna get worried because they going for the concentration camps. They gonna put us in the concentration camps. You going to the concentration camp, nigga. You'll be alright. Because they stupid. Because they scared. See, you serve God, you ain't worried about that. You just sit back watching. Waiting for the time where he let you wait for it's time for us to do what? Hit east, ain't it? Time to hit east. I ain't talking about I-10 east either. I'm talking about hit east, man. Get across that wall. It's time to go back to the city of Yah. It's time to go back to the city of peace. I ain't worried about what these white folk doing over here with no Ebola. Only people worrying about Ebola is some sinners. Only people worrying about going to a concentration camp is some sinners because they scared to die. They know if they die, they're going to hell. That's why they worry about it. 1 Kings chapter 13, we about verse 7. Get on out of here. And the king said unto the man of God, come home with me, refresh thyself, and I will give thee a reward. And the man of God said unto the king, if thou wilt give me half thine house, I will not go in with thee, neither will I eat bread nor drink water in their place. What y'all think that go back to when he said, man, just come with me, I'll give you a reward? What y'all think that go back to? You got an idea? I'm going to see. What about you? I don't wink y'all at me, nigga.
It's yours.
So live. Nigga done drop my wall.
It's cold.
Nigga done drop my wall.
It's cold.
Better be lucky it stinkers. You better not put your mouth on my glass. Then I'm going to have to go and get it checked. You keep that. I don't want it.
Is that what you said?
I don't want it. You keep that. I might check that. You might got Ebola.
We're doing training at work.
I know y'all doing that training at work. These niggas went crazy because somebody talking about I came in contact with somebody from Africa, went down there to Baptist downtown. I think I got Ebola. Everybody on Facebook in Jacksonville went crazy. Boy, we might got Ebola.
And we doing stupid Ebola training.
But guess what though? Niggas around here worried about Ebola laying up in a nasty hole right now, butt naked. Raw dog. You know what I'm talking about? But you worry about some Ebola. Nigga, AIDS been real for 30 years. Niggas ain't worried about that. I don't want no Ebola though. Come on now. I just said, nigga said, how you worry about some Ebola, boy? You going up there bareback and hoes galore. Whole penis finna fall off. But come on now, this man just said, if you'll refresh thyself, I'll give thee a reward. He said, I wouldn't care if you gave me half your house, I ain't going nowhere with you. Look what he said in verse 9. For it was charged might be by the word of Yah, saying, eat no bread, nor drink no water, nor turn again by the same way that thou came. So he went another way and returned not by the way that he came to Bethel. Matthew chapter 4. Let's see what it is. That what you had in your head? No. I'll see what you had in your head later. Calm down, little Lizzie. Because when this man sat back and offered him a reward in bread and water, wasn't he tempted? He was trying it. Then was YESHUA led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward a hunger. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out the mouth of God. Then the devil take him up into the cold city, and set him on the pinnacle of the temple, and said unto him, if thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against the stone. YESHUA said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt Yah thy God. And the devil take him up into an exceeding high mountain, and show him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them. And said unto them, all these things will I give thee, if thou fall down and worship me. Then said YESHUA, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship Yah thy God, and him alone thou shalt serve. Then the devil leave him, and behold, the angels came and ministered unto him. So he tried to offer him a reward, then if he would come and roll with him, then he said, man, I can't eat no bread, drink no water in this place. 1 Kings chapter 13. What was she doing? She was sneezing hard. What? Say, Mom, I can't help it. 1 Kings chapter 13, verse 11. He said, now there dwelt an old prophet in Bethel. And his son came and told him all the words that the man of God done that day in Bethel, the words which he had spoken unto the king. Then they told also to their father. And their father said unto them, what way went he? For his sons had seen what way the man of God went, which came from Judah. And he said unto his son, saddle me the ass. So they saddled him the ass and went after the man of God, and found him sitting under the oak. And he said unto him, art thou the man of God that came from Judah? And he said, I am. When did the Lord say something like that? Who knows? Who knows when the Lord said something like that? You know? Which one of y'all know that? Which one of you men know that? You know? Oh, Leah head butter you in your... That's a good one. That's a good one now. We'll look at that one too. That's a good one now. No, we know that we ain't looking for Exodus. We looking for when they came to the Messiah. They said, art thou the man that came from Judah? He said, I am. Did these people come and ask him, was he the Messiah? Did he ever tell any of these people that? What did he ask his disciples? He said, who do men say that I am? When they came and asked him whether he was the Messiah, remember when he told Pilate, he said, are you the king of the Jews? What he told Pilate? We were just talking about this last night. Y'all know what he told Pilate? He said, did somebody tell you that? Or did you come up with that on your own? How many times do people come up there and tell him, are you the one? Come over here and look at John chapter 9. Then we'll look at John chapter 8, what he said. That's why I was telling them, I think I told y'all this before, that's how you know the Lord was black. Ain't no other way to know it but that. He told them straight up, somebody told you that, you came up there with your own. That sounds like something a black man will say to somebody. John chapter 9. About verse 35. YESHUA heard that they cast him out, and when he had found him, he said unto him, dost thou believe on the Son of God? He answered and said, who is he, Lord, that I might believe on him? YESHUA said unto him, thou hast both seen it, and it is he that talked with thee. Because he said, if you the man that come out of Judah, he said, yeah, that's me. That man just, hey, where he at? He said, you believe on him? He said, yeah, where he at? He said, you looking at him. But look at John chapter 8, about verse 54, which the brother just mentioned. YESHUA answered, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father that honor me, of whom you say that he is your God. You have not known him, but I know him. And if I should say I know him not, I shall be a liar like unto you, but I know him and keep his saying. That's something we got to always remember, consider saying. You're going to sit back and say you are Yah, you are YESHUA, and you say you know him, you need to obey the man. You need to keep his saying. Or guess what? You'll be a liar like unto the people who say they know him, but don't keep his sayings. He said, your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. And the Jews said unto him, thou art not yet 50 years old, and thou hast seen Abraham? YESHUA said unto them, truly, truly, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. Now you just sit back and you see this man told him, he said, you the man of God that come from Judah. He said, I am. Come on back to 1 Kings chapter 13. You know what he was telling them people when he told them that he was I am? Y'all know what he told them? He told them he was God. Because you look at the verse up after that, they picked up stones to stone him. They don't tell you why they picked up stones to stone him, because common sense, you should be able to know that. As the brother just mentioned, going back to Exodus chapter 3, he just told them, I'm God. I'm the one you were dealing with back in Exodus. That was me. That's why he said before Abraham war, I am. Before you even thought about Abraham, I war. We already know that when we looked at that Genesis 1 to start with. He said, I may not, he said, verse 15, then he said unto him, come home with me and eat bread. Yeah, we won't get that Job 31 tonight. We're not going to get that tonight. He said unto him, come home with me and eat bread. And he said, I may not return with thee, nor go in with thee. Neither will I eat bread nor drink water with thee in this place. For it was said to me by the word of Yah, thou shalt eat no bread, nor drink water there, nor turn again to go by the way that thou came. And he said unto him, I'm a prophet also as thou art. And the angel spake unto me by the word of Yah, saying, bring him back with thee into thine house, that he may eat bread and drink water. But he lied unto him. Now this man just saying, we done went through this in the past, didn't we? He said, an angel told me to tell you this here. But we know Paul said, if anybody come bringing another gospel other than the gospel you received, whether it be by spirit or angel, he said, let him be accursed. Would that go back to Satan? Now you got to sit back and look at it. Hold on. 1 Corinthians chapter 5. It might be Ephesians chapter 5. Let me see. I think it is Ephesians 5 or Ephesians 4. Let me see. Or Galatians. I should say. Let me see. Galatians chapter 5 verse 5. See, some of y'all let people come and persuade y'all to do stuff you ain't got no business. Some of y'all will. You sit back, you know what you're supposed to do. You know what you've been told. You know which direction you ought to walk. But you still gonna go do what you want to do. And you ought to go. And that's how you do it to you. And you supposed and you supposed to get every last drop. Because you know what you're supposed to do. Galatians 5 and 5. He said, for we through the Spirit wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. For in YESHUA Messiah neither circumcision avail anything, nor uncircumcision, but faith which work by love. See, if you love God, you will believe. I've told y'all this before. There is no way you can say you love somebody who you don't trust, who word you don't believe, and who you don't respect. So if you don't fear God, believe God, and hope in God, there's no way in the world you can love this man. Because these will be the key components of your faith in him. I respect what you say because I believe what you say. And I know that you're fully capable of accomplishing what you say at the time appointed. He says, ye did run well. Who did hinder you that you should not obey the truth? This persuasion come not of him that called you a little leaving the whole alone. I want y'all to sit back and realize a little bit of sin take you on out of here. Just a little bit. He said, what persuasion is it? We sit back and look at this man of God right here. What was that persuasion that was getting him to come to go do what he was not supposed to do? It wasn't coming of him who called him, because y'all didn't tell him that. He had stated repeatedly, I ain't supposed to eat no bread, nor drink no water in this place, nor go back the way which I came. But there came some persuasion that caused him not to obey the truth. 1 Kings 13. That's what some of y'all problem is. Who out here persuading you that you shouldn't obey the truth? That persuasion ain't coming from God. Where is it coming from? Some of y'all dumb enough to go right along for it too. Same thing with him. Balaam, same way. See, a lot of y'all persuaded by a lot of things. It could be a woman. It could be your job. It could be money. It could be some tribulation. It could be some sufferings. It could be some persecutions. Man, it could be anything. Some of y'all don't even take much to get you out the way. It don't even take much. Some of you niggas, boy, all the woman got to come, she ain't even got to be walk out half naked. All she got to do is have a halter top on. Some of you niggas lose your mind. Somebody just show a picture of weed. You like, well, what a weed hole at? First Kings chapter 13, verse 19. So he went back with him and did eat bread in his house and drank water. And it came to pass as they sat at the table that the word of Yah came unto the prophet that brought him back. And he cried unto the man of God that came from Judah, saying, Thus saith Yah, for as much as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of Yah, and hast not kept the commandment which Yah thy God commanded thee, but came back and eat bread and drunk water in the place of which Yah did say to thee, Eat no bread and drink no water, thy carcass shall not come unto the sepulchre of thy fathers. And it came to pass, after he had eaten bread and after he had drunk, that he saddled him for the ass to wit, for the prophet whom he had brought back. And when he was gone, a lion met him by the way and slew him. And his carcass was cast in the way. And the ass stood by it, and the lion stood by the carcass. What that come to mind about a man being killed in the way, and you got an ass and a lion standing next to his body? Here y'all know. What come to mind? You got anything come to your mind, Dwight Glow?
I remember you said something about that.
How does it pertain to the Messiah, gentlemen? He got slain in the street, ass and lion by his side. Hold on, let's read some more. Let's see if we see something. Verse 25. And behold, men passed by and saw the carcass cast in the way, and the lion standing by the carcass, and they came and told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt. So now people passing by see this dead man in the street with an ass and a lion by his side. Any idea? Let's look at Matthew chapter 26. This book is beautiful. When we were taking it through, we were showing it to the brother last night, Pale. He was getting excited, He was getting excited. He was really getting excited because before we had a chance to tell him about the withered hand, it had all hit our mind at the same time. You know what I'm talking about? And he was excited. He said, boy, he's showing it to me. You know what I'm saying? And I thank the Lord for that. Amen. So verse 38. He said there were two thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand, another on the left. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads, saying, Thou restore the temple and build it in 3 days. Save thyself if thou be the Son of God. Come down from the cross. So then you see that what you had in your head. That the people walking, passing by. Well, you think always got to line up to where we got two people next to this man dead body. Because let's sit back and see. John chapter 19. Because that ass and lion was alive, man. But he was dead in the middle. John chapter 19, verse 30. Verse 30, yes sir. When YESHUA therefore had received the vinegar, he said, It is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost. The Jews therefore, because it was the preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for that Sabbath was a high day, besought Pilate that the legs might be broken, that they might be taken away. Then came the soldiers and brake the legs of the first and the other which were crucified with him. But when they came to YESHUA and saw that he was dead already, they brake not his legs. See, he came in the middle. He said he was dead already, cast in the way, right in the middle of the street. Because I go right back to Isaiah 59 when they say truth fall in the street. Man just fall dead right there in the street. Come on back 1 Kings chapter 13 so we can get done. Lord we'll fit Job in another day. It's always fun to me when these people tell you, claim it! And they say, where you read that from? Talking about claim, son. You know where they get that from? Y'all know where they get that from? Y'all ever heard of the book called The Secret? or Napoleon Hill, or the way of pop. That's where they get that stuff from. That ain't none of our custom. You'll never read no Jew talking about claim nothing. What are you reading that somebody talking about? Claim it. God's gonna work something in your life. Claim it. No, they got that from Gentiles. They didn't get that from no Jew. That ain't no Jew custom. Don't do no crap like that. Don't do no crap like that, man. Verse 26. When the prophet that brought him back from the way heard thereof, he said, it is the man of God who was disobedient unto the word of Yah. So I'm going to tell y'all something. Anytime y'all tell you to do something, that's commandment. Because you know them super Hebrew niggas be like, see, Torah just mean instruction. Man, this whole book Torah, nigga. You think the Torah just Genesis to Deuteronomy? This whole book instructions, nigga. All of us instruction. That's what that young woman wasn't understanding when she sat back and you hear Paul, them, and Peter telling you, don't you braid your hair and plait your hair. Don't you put that jewelry on in your ears and on your earrings in your ear, and that jewelry on your body, and that makeup on your face looking like a class clown. He was instructing you, son. They came from the scripture anyway. Verse 26. And when the prophet brought him back from whom the way heard thereof, he said, it's the man of God who was disobedient unto the word of Yah. Therefore Yah have delivered him unto the lion, which have torn him and slain him according to the word of Yah, which he spake unto him. And he spake to his son, saying, saddle me the ass. And they saddled. Look what it said. And he went and found his carcass cast in the way, and the ass and the lion standing by the carcass. The lion had not eaten the carcass, nor torn the ass. You know why that lion had neither eaten that carcass nor torn it? Because when they seen YESHUA was dead already, they didn't break his leg, didn't they? Why so? Because of the law. Because of the law. Passover lamb can't break none of his bones. But then also, you know, the law said you can't bring no sacrifice to y'all that's broken, that got blemishes, that's got it been torn. Can't bring none of that. So you see right there, you see this lion coming through. See, that lion hadn't even eaten him nor torn him. Left him whole. Verse 29. And the prophet took up the carcass of the man of God and laid it upon the ass and brought it back. And the prophet came in the city to mourn and to bury him. Who was this? It said this prophet came and took this man's body and took it and buried it and mourned for it. You right though. You just got his name wrong. Matthew 27. I know what you want. You just got his name wrong. Matthew 27 verse 57. Whole book about this man. That's why we were trying to talk to this young woman. She wasn't trying to catch it. I'm sitting there telling her, if these niggas is not showing you this, why would you even want to listen to them? They still in that drunk. I pray the Lord. They've been back there drunk about 3 hours. So they'll probably go back. Shoot, all you gotta do is you do what they gotta see. He got that flag back there. You get your son put on them windows. Make it go pitch black in there. You put them in there like parakeets. They used to do live like that. Yeah, like parakeet. Y'all don't know you put a parakeet, you put that blanket over the cage. They don't even know they just out of there. That's how you do them babies. You want them to go to sleep, just make a pitch black in there. They go to sleep. They ain't gonna know the difference. How you do them kids, you want them to go to sleep. Matthew 27:57. That's why the baby been in that knocked out sleep. They ain't even know. Not a crack of daylight came around. They don't even know. He said when the even was come, there came a rich man or arrhythmia, but not Joshua was asleep though. He was asleep though. Named Joseph, who also himself was Yeshua's disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Yeshua. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his own tomb. Because guess what? If he a man of God come from Judah, don't you know he said he wouldn't go to the sepulchre of his fathers? So they got to put him and bury him somewhere else. Can't bury him with his people. Because Yeshua should have been on the house of David. He should have been buried in the sepulchres of David, shouldn't he? And then you see when you read about the kings, they always were buried in the sepulchres of their fathers. He said he laid him in his own tomb, which he hewn out in the rock, and he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed. Come on back to 1 Kings 13. So now we see this prophet taking the carcass of this man to go bury him and mourn for him. You didn't think Joseph went to mourn for the man? Or you thought Joseph just what happened? Verse 30, and he laid his carcass in his own grave, say in his own tomb, just like Joseph, didn't he? And they mourned over him, saying, Alas, my brother. And it came to pass after he had buried them that he spake to his son, saying, When I am dead, then bury me in the sepulchre wherein the man of God is buried, and lay my bones beside his bones. Now why would that be important? This man say, bury me where he buried at. Why would that be important, everybody? Anybody know why that be important? You know why that be important? Glover, Dwight, y'all know why that would be important? Romans chapter 6. He said, bury me where he buried at. Bury me with him. Romans 6 and 1. That's what we got to sit back and have in our mind. Verse 3, actually. Well, 6 and 1 is good. Bury me with him. He said, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we then that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many of us were baptized into Yeshua the Messiah, were baptized into his death? Therefore we are buried with him. He said, lay my bone with his bone. When I die, bury me with him. We are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as the Messiah was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, because the earth was without form and darkness and void. And he said, let there be light, because in him was light, and the light was the life of men. Thank the Lord. You see how he ended up come back at the end tied all together as one. Amen. He say raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we should also walk in newness of life. For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall all be also in the likeness of his resurrection. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. Because we sit back and we look when he died, that's when the temple and the altar was rent. Because the sacrifice has been made to bring you from darkness into the glorious light of God, that you might have life everlasting. He said, for he that is dead is free from sin. Now if we be dead with the Messiah, we believe that we also should live with him, knowing that the Messiah, being raised from the dead, died no more, death have no more dominion over him. For in that he died under sin once, but in that he lived under God. Likewise, reckon yourselves to be dead indeed under sin, but alive under God through Yeshua the Messiah our Lord. So the same way that this man said, sit back and bury me with this man, bury me with him. You want to sit back and ask yourself, I need to be buried with the Lord, that I might die to sin through the word, but live under God through the Spirit. That's the objective. That's the objective. Y'all didn't find that interesting why the man would ask and say, I need to be buried with him. I must be buried with him. We have to sit back and look at it. I must be buried with this man. And you're going to have to die for that to happen. All the stuff you got going on in your heart, the things of this world that pulling at you, things you desiring, things you want to do, all that well and good. But don't let it interfere with God, though. Don't let none of that stuff get in the way. If you mess around and let that stuff get in the way, it's going to be a detriment to you. Let's finish 1 Kings chapter 13. We finish this thing with this drinking, and that's it. You use the potty? Did you use the potty? Good Lord. You use the potty. Verse 31. And it came to pass, after he had buried him, he spake to his son, saying, when I am dead, then bury me in the sepulchre wherein the man of God is buried. Lay my bones beside his bone. Because remember what he said. Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bones. For the saying which he cried by the word of Yah against the altar of Bethel and against all the houses of the high places which were in the cities of Samaria shall surely come to pass. And after this thing Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but it made again of the lowest of the people priests of the high places. Whosoever would, he consecrated him, and he became one of the priests of the high places. And this thing became sin unto the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and destroy it from the face of the earth. And that's what's going on in these days and time. These niggas just set up some of the most wicked, evil niggas and make them a priest. They're out here teaching the people. But let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 6 so we can deal with this thing about drinking. 'Cause I know that's a big issue for everybody. That's what the young lady told me the other day. She said, I don't see nothing wrong with it. The Lord drank. He sure did. He sure did sip some wine. He surely did. But I'm going to show y'all something. I ask everybody a question. What does y'all deem for somebody to be drunk? Who knows what y'all deems to be drunk? So, knowing that you don't know, verse 9, is that something worth taking a risk on? Is it worth taking a risk on? 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9. He said, know you not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards. Nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God. Listen to what Paul said. And such were some of you. Some of us encompass all these behaviors mentioned. He said, but ye are washed, but ye are sanctified, but ye are justified in the name of the Lord YESHUA and by the Spirit of our God. So it's the word which would wash you and cleanse you from that unrighteousness. But if you know you still doing those type of things, you're not going to make it. Now we know one of the definitions of the word high is drunk as well. But we got enough conversation. I asked a young woman, honest question. I said, do you think that the Father and the Son are in the Kodesh place smoking weed? And this nigga said yes. You know what I'm talking about? Then she turned around and said, well, they could be eating it. Then we asked her, would you give a doobie to your child? And she said yes. I said, well, you want to smoke weed too bad that you'll sit there and blaspheme and damn yourself to hell because you want to smoke a joint. But we ain't even gonna get that far to telling people about using medication and say that we're cracker. We can sit back and read in the scriptures, in the gospel, about women going to the doctors to be healed and they weren't able to do it. Now we know that we got that y'all left natural herbs and remedies and drugs to heal men from all ailments. You know what I'm talking about? And if you sit back and you got to go to a doctor and you need certain things to for the healing of your body, I'm not going to tell you not to use that, talking about, oh, you'll be a sorcerer if you take that medication. Nigga, you got high blood pressure, take your pills, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, for real. Indeed. But this is where we kill that at. This is where we kill that at. We're going to use common sense. Is our God a God of life or a God of death? Now, you know full well you sit there and you smoke marijuana, that brings smoke in your lung. And if you know if a house catch on fire right now and you inhale smoke, what's going to happen to you? You're going to die. That ain't a God. You ain't got no business smoking it. Then the man said, you supposed to be Kodesh in all manner of behavior because he that called you is Kodesh. As is written, be ye Kodesh as I'm Kodesh. So we already know our Father set apart. He said, sanctify him by thy truth, thy word of truth. No full well, y'all and YESHUA ain't sitting up in heaven talking about pops. You got them papers. You got them zigzags. We got some Maui Wowie and some AK-47 over here. So the angels shooting over there talking about, I got to switch the sweet. You know what I'm talking about? And you going to be turning around talking about, I'm smoking past the Dutch to the left-hand side. Nigga, you going to pass yourself to hell, nigga. You might as well just go ahead and light yourself on fire. You know full well the living God ain't around here smoking no weed. You ain't got no business smoking. But that's what you might as well do. I guarantee you somebody set a big bushel of marijuana on fire in the house, you standing there, I bet you die from smoke inhalation. But come on over here and look at Ephesians chapter 5. He said a drunkard ain't getting in here. Let's see what Paul had to say about their wine. Look at verse 17. See, that's what wrong. He said don't be something. Then we'll look at Mark chapter 7. Get to Proverbs chapter 20. And we're going to get out of here. I appreciate everybody taking the time out this evening. Surely do. He said, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. We know that if you lack understanding, you worthy of death. A lot of people don't understand the will of the Lord, so they unwise. He said, be not drunk with wine wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. So what you need to be filled up with some wine when you need the Ruach HaKodesh? You got more Hebrew worried about being filled up with some Chardonnay and some red wine than they all being filled with the Spirit. How you got time to be talking about I want me some strong drink, because the law said we can get strong drink in Deuteronomy 14. I'm going to get me some strong drink. So you just a strong nigga stumbling around here drunk. I done seen Hebrews talking about I got a hangover, but you a God though. But you got a hangover. Throwing up all over the place. No, you got a hangover, you been busting it open. And it was a woman I'm talking about. I ain't talking about no man. Nigga, Hebrew congregate talking about bring your own bottle. Somebody supposed to been coming around there slapping all them niggas in the face with bottles. Ain't nowhere in the world you a God talking about you on some Erkin jerk. I'm on this Henny. Sometimes you gotta leave that stuff alone. But he said, don't be filled with this stuff. I want you to look, he said, don't be unwise. Mark chapter 7, verse 20, so we can get done. See, that's a nigga favorite cop out. The Lord drunk it. Don't let that be the reason. Don't let that be the reason. Don't try to put that on him. He said, that which come out of the man, that defile the man. Because this is what the woman was using to rationalize to justify herself drinking. From within out of the heart of men proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile a man. Now this man just mentioned that if you a fool, you defile, because foolishness comes from out your heart. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 1. Let's see what Solomon had to say about it. I think Solomon had something to say about it. Solomon had something to say about it. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 1. He said, wine is a mocker. Strong drink is raging. And whosoever deceived thereby is not wise. That means you defiled. Wouldn't that mean you defiled according to what the Lord said? That if you got foolishness in your heart, you defiled. The man say, if you deceive by wine and strong drink, you're not wise. What's the opposite of being wise? A fool, right? That means you ain't got no business picking it up then, don't you? She didn't want to hear that when we showed it to her. She didn't want to hear that when we showed it to her. That's pretty clear for y'all. You ain't got no business picking up no liquor on. Come back around here to verse 29 of Hebrews chapter, Proverbs chapter 23. Proverbs 23, verse 29. Let's sit back another thing he say about that wine. He said, who have woe? You know what woe is? Know what woe means, gentlemen? Destruction. Somebody going to hell, because he said a drunkard not inherited in the kingdom of God, right? Who have sorrow? Who have contentions? Who have babbling? Who have wounds without cause? Who have redness of eyes? But they that tarry long at the wine, they that go to seek mixed wine. Look not thou upon the wine when it's red, when it give its color in its cup, when it move itself aright. At last it bite like a serpent and sting like an adder. We know who had power over death. That is the devil. That's sin, that transgression, that's going to take you down. John chapter 5, verse 39. So right there, I think that's pretty crystal clear for what we did already. Nobody got no business drinking no more. Ain't even worth it. And that's something totally different right there. We can go in another direction with that mixed wine. But the killer part of the Lord say the foolishness defile you. The man say you get deceived by wine and strong drink. You not wise, which means you a fool. Somebody going to hell. It ain't even worth it. Plus, you could say one glass of wine, you'll be like, this here, shoot, nigga, I'm straight. The Lord sitting back looking at it, man, that nigga is drunk out of his mind. You would really want around to take that risk. You have no idea what he deemed to be drunk. Why take that risk? Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you. He said, but I know you, that you have not the love of God in you. I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can ye believe, which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that come from God only? Do not think I will accuse you to my Father. To the Father there is one that accuses you, even Moses, in whom you trust. But had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Praise Yah for Yahshua and for the word.